Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm playing a rapid game against an international master, and later we're going to analyze it. Sorry for starting in the opening of the game instead of at the beginning, but when I analyze the game later, you can see the opening. I see nothing wrong with castling. Yeah. D4 he obviously can't play, so we'll play D3 I think. And then the question is if I can play D5. Which I honestly might be able to do. Wouldn't surprise me if I can. The time control is 15 minutes plus 10 seconds, by the way. D5 is the plan, but it's interesting if I include A6 or not. If after D3 I play A6 and then D5, or if I play D5 right away. It's really not an easy question. See A6, Bishop C4 maybe. D5, then it resembles some kind of Italian with the bishop on G7, which is interesting. A6. The good thing is after A6 bishop C4, D5 is with a tempi, so he has to take on D5, but after A6 bishop A4 I'm not so sure if I achieved much. It's very hard to find out. 6 bishop A4 then D5 or D5 right away. I'll go for A6. I've heard that when two decisions are very similar, you just have to go for one of them. Okay, I want to play D5. Now let's see if I'm not blundering anything tactically. After bishop G5, F6 is possible at the very least. I see no problem. D5, pawn takes D5, queen takes D5, bishop B3, queen D6. Nah, I see no problems here. Maybe knight A3 is kind of smart then, actually. Play knight C4, but probably nothing to worry about. B5 at the very least. So I mean if he takes, the queen takes, bishop B3, queen D6, knight A3. Actually knight D2 is smarter. But I do knight E4, knight C4 as well. Then the pawn on D3 might be hanging though, so. But this should be very good for black. Okay, sorry, this should be fine for black. Black isn't worse. If I understand chess correctly, of course. Which I do. To some degree. What can I think of here? Okay, but pawn takes D5, queen takes D5. What other ideas? I mean, bishop B3 isn't necessary, but it's hard to say what he will do otherwise. Okay, he goes for the solid knight D2 and not taking on D5. Alright. A B5 followed by bishop B7 is something I could definitely play. A bishop E6 is also playable, of course, and then after knight G5 play bishop D7 and claim that the knight is misplaced on G5. Okay, I guess his plan is knight F1, knight G3. I have F5 if I want to go crazy, but F5 might actually not be that bad of a move, but it is not a safe move to make, that's for sure, because then after pawn takes D5 I have to take with knight and sack a pawn. Which might not be so bad, but super messy, Probably not very safe. A bishop E6 or B5 followed by bishop B7, that seems to be the question. d4 is also a way I could change the position, but I don't really believe in it. Though it might force him to play c4. Actually, maybe d4 is not such a bad move. d4 is interesting when I think about it, because he doesn't have knight c4 due to b5. Very hard to say, but it also makes a big confirmation. Yeah, chess is a difficult game. Very difficult game to play. Okay, I'll go for bishop e6. And I mean, yeah, I have my pieces out. Shouldn't be worse. It's a very interesting question if after pawn takes d5 I can take with the knight. But after knight takes c5 go for knight f4, but very unclear. Okay, goes for bishop c2, defending on d3 in advance perhaps. Queen d7 is a tempting move for some reason, but then after knight g5 I give up the bishop pair, which is somewhat risky. f5 is interesting, but then knight g5 as well. h6 maybe, so that he never has knight g5. I kind of like this move, let's play it. He might play knight f1 now, and then I could definitely consider taking an e4. Okay, he might want to play a5, but I don't see this as super dangerous. b4, a5, no, I don't think his counterplays. I just watched the lecture on prophylaxis, and now I think more about what the opponent wants than what I want sometimes. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. f5 seems like a very interesting move for sure. You know what? Let's play it interestingly. Pawn takes d5, knight takes d5. Maybe I should have fought more on d4, but then I have e4. The thing about h6 is that in some variations g6 could be weak, but I don't really believe it's that weak. That this is a very serious idea. But okay, maybe after the simple pawn takes d5, knight takes d5, he might have knight c4, putting pressure on the e5 pawn. Yeah, f5 is maybe a bit too risky. I'm not sure. Maybe after pawn takes d5 I'll have to take with the bishop so that he doesn't have knight c4, but then this is not exactly what I wanted. At some point it would be fun to push g5, g4, but this is... okay, he goes for this kind of move. I don't really believe in rook b1. It looks very slow to me. So one thing I can do is take on e4, play f4 and try to checkmate my opponent. But it's very double-edged, I don't know how good this is, or I could play king h7, improving my position a little. No, but then I might fall under the c2 diagonal. This is also a very serious decision to make. I can also take on e4 with the f-pawn. Ooh, many decisions I could make. I'm not sure what to do exactly. Okay, queen d7 is definitely an improvement to my position, protecting the bishop on e6 at the very least. Then if he takes on d5 I'll have to take with the bishop though. Then I maybe could play rook a d8. Okay, I don't really believe in this move, but maybe it's not so stupid as I thought initially. This b4 idea, trying to harass my knight so that e5 is a weaker. Amongst other things, it's very tempting to take on e4 with the d-pawn and play f4. And go for the attack. This is of course a risky decision, but it's risky not to take risks, as I like to say, so let's do it. course, b5, knight a5 isn't dangerous for me. Yeah, for some reason I thought he would play this, but I also don't see the real danger. Now he might want to play knight c4, if I understand him correctly. What to do? I like rook a8 prophylaxis against knight c4 because then I have queen takes d1. But yeah, now maybe we can exchange queens with bishop takes e6 followed by queen b3 when it's not that good anymore to have this attack on the king side, but at least I have chances of getting the open file. Though I've put many of my pawns on dark squares, which is of course very risky with a dark square bishop. Okay, what to play, huh? Think I've misplayed this slightly. I'm thinking about taking on b3, but then he'll get his knight to c5, which is very annoying. So maybe instead the strange looking rook f6 is not so stupid. Yeah, let's go for it. Now I also want to play bishop f8, and the bishop is now better on this diagonal as it wouldn't be blocked by the e5 pawn. The e5 pawn might also be a bit weak, so I have to be very careful in this position. But g5, g4 is still an idea, even though the queens are traded off. He might play c4, but I don't really believe in this move at all. Probably he will never play this. I don't know why I thought of that. Okay, what would be an improvement to my position? At g5, g4, pushing his knight back, or to h4 when it's placed quite strangely. Bishop f8 in some variations, a rook d3 maybe. Trying to penetrate on the d-file. The thing that I have is kind of some control over the d-file, so it's not a very clear position at all. Okay, I mean I have to take back on e6 or resign, but I don't want to resign, so I take back on e6. b5 is definitely a move I can consider, trying to glue some of his pawns on light squares. Yeah, he thinks of this and prevents it. The question is, of course, whether I take on b5 or if I play knight a5 first. Not so clear. If rook takes b5 can be anything is the question. No, I don't believe in it, it just weakens his structure. So he obviously doesn't go for it, and then let's play knight a5. A knight on the rim is dim, of course, but I don't see this knight as being that bad. Okay, I have rook d3 as a move trying to put pressure. Actually, he might want to play bishop b4 next, now that I think about it. But I think g5 is interesting, threatening to play g4. Then he'll play h3, and it takes time to do anything. Not so clear. So a g5 h3, and I don't see how I proceed. But, h5 obviously doesn't work there due to knight takes g5. But okay, I'll go for g5 anyways, to be honest. Then he plays bishop b4. Nah, I don't think bishop b4 b6 is that dangerous for me. It is interesting for sure, but dangerous I don't think. Yeah, he goes for h3 of course. I'm not really able to put a knight on c4, which would be a dream to play knight c8, but I'm not in time, sadly. Maybe I have to go for the passive b6. I don't want to, of course, but maybe I don't have the choice. Yeah, fine, I'll do it. Prophylaxis against bishop b4, but it's obviously not something I'm happy about. Okay, after rook a1, my idea was play knight c8, but now I see that it's very risky to go for this. Yeah, I've made some inaccuracies maybe this game, but still the position isn't that clear. So I think objectively I'm slightly worse, but maybe not by that much. I think knight c4 is a decent move by him. Then maybe I can consider knight d6, trying to complicate it, but then bishop takes d6 is a smart move. So yeah, not so clear what to do after knight c4. I think I'll have to play knight c8 with the idea of after rook e d1, knight d6. This move seems very strange to me, as I don't see where his knight is headed exactly. So maybe the intuitive knight c8 isn't so bad with the idea of knight d6. Yeah, I like it. After rook d1 I'll play knight d6 and put pressure on some of his pawns. After c4 I'll also play knight d6. Yeah. Threatening to take a couple of his pawns, so he has to be somewhat careful. Now I like my position slightly more. Okay, this I didn't think of. This might be annoying too. Yeah, what to do, how to play. Okay, maybe bishop f6 is a decent move with the idea of h5. And also maybe protecting the rook on d8 in some cases. Knight takes b5 is all very close to working, but I don't think it quite works, sadly. Which is very unfortunate, as it would be a very nice trick. Not that easy to make a good move in this position for sure. Yeah, not an easy task. How to play here, yeah? Yeah, it's very loud here, which is a very big problem, very hard to concentrate. This is crazy, honestly, how loud it is. Just want to play chess and I hear screaming. Yeah, okay, I literally don't know what to do. Okay, I'll play king f7. Okay, bishop e7, rook takes e5, knight takes c4. Is that possible to play? Maybe king e6 first, but this is a risky move to make, of course. So bishop e7, rook takes c4, knight takes c4, bishop takes e7. Okay, it's hanging on e5 too, so sure. Now you obviously want to play knight takes c4. Maybe as bishop takes d6, when I will have to play bishop takes d6, but okay. This is not that bad. Though, yeah, it's not a good position. Pawn on e5 is very weak. Maybe you can play bishop c3 and this is an accurate move, I don't know. Could very well be. And I have to spend time on bishop f6 or something. Yeah, not so good. But my position is holding temporarily. Solid at the very least. Hopefully I'll be able to play rook a8 at some point. Trying to activate somehow. Bishop e7, I don't think this is a good move. Because after bishop c3 I go back to f6. Of course he doesn't need to play bishop c3. I don't know if rook ed1 works tactically. With the idea that after knight takes c4, knight takes c4, rook takes d5, rook takes d5 to take on, and bishop takes b4. Ah, but then I'm defending on e5. Ah, that's good news. So then I might be threatening knight takes c4 in this position. So maybe he has to play bishop f6. This is, sorry, bishop c3. This is maybe not so bad. Okay, I'll play bishop f6. He obviously doesn't have c5, as then I can take b5. I'm thinking if I can sacrifice or not. And then play rook c4, but after c5 it's not very clear what I am going to do later on. Go for king e6, and after rook a7 I have rook a8. Now the only thing I want is to play rook e8, of course. Okay. Sure, I'll play it. And try to activate. Of course this is not much activity, but I'm hoping to get some activity. Okay, this might be a smart move, I don't know. I'm not so sure how good this move is. Rook d8. Maybe thinking about taking on a6 and then playing c6. Then after rook d3, knight takes e4, but of course I don't have time to calculate if it works or not. Not so good time usage this game. Yeah, he sidesteps, which of course makes a lot of sense. Maybe h5 with the idea of g4 is some kind of counterplay. Probably not sufficient, but something at least. So also I need to ask myself how he will be trying to break apart my position. With the move c5 of course, but it's not so easy to be able to play it. He needs to do quite a bit of preparation work in order for it. If he plays king d3 now, I can think about taking on a6 and playing c6. When he has excellent compensation, but no more. Okay. Should I try bishop e7 again? I don't know. I don't really want to play it. A g4 is probably just losing a pawn. He wants to play c5, I think. Fine, I'll go for bishop e7. Yeah, my time usage has been very horrible, but I've been very distracted by the sounds at home, so that's not a good thing. He probably won't agree to a draw, but okay, that's good, because I'll also keep fighting. Can I force a draw? Nice. Okay, I just looked at the tutorial on how you analyze today. So let's see if I'm able to do it successfully. I think you go to analysis board and then you make it public. Title analysis. Very creative of World Champion. That's what it's going to be. Okay, I've invited him to the analysis, so okay, let's see if I can flip the board maybe. Okay, doesn't matter. He played e4. Yeah. I played knight c6. Bishop b5. Now I'm showing the opening I played. Knight g7. Let's ask him if he's seen the move. don't remember. And then g6. Yeah, I don't know if this is what you go for. But I mean, I have this in a chess-based file, so I could look at the move order again. He went for rook e1, but I see. Yeah, f3. Let's see, c3 is of course the main line. Then d4. How do I make beautiful arrows? There we go. But interesting play there too. So yeah, I think c3 is the main line. Let's like a6, bishop a4. I think you put these moves in. Supposed to play b5 here, and white has a choice. b3 or bishop c2. Sorry, I'll adjust my face accordingly. Wait, yeah, you obviously take here and castle. Ah, I see. I'm just very curious by nature, so I'll ask him. So yeah, this is the main line. Yeah, I think actually bishop g5 is one of the moves you can play. I think, yeah, h6 is always a smart move to throw in. I don't think you go for g5 here, but maybe you've got many plans. Bishop b7 definitely at some point is a plan. This knight a5, knight c4 idea. Is definitely a move you can play here. It's one idea, and then like you have d6 too. And after knight a5, it's interesting how the idea of sure. The idea of c5. So this is very interesting for black to play. There is this book by Alexei Dreyev written on the knight g7 system against the Spanish. And I mean, the good thing is that almost no one really knows what to do against it, as it's not even close to the main line. Okay, you went for rook e1, played bishop g7. Maybe I can try to make one, but another time. Okay, f5 is maybe not justified. What did I do in the game? Like here. Okay. I did castle d3 and then e5 here, or a6. Then white, when I think about it, white has no bishop c2 actually, so this is an interesting detail. Which move to make? You have f6 if you want, maybe f6 is best. This blocks the bishop, but temporarily, then you can push to f5 maybe. This is a move here. Okay, but I don't know how important it is that white isn't able to play bishop c2, because honestly I don't know if the bishop is too great on c2. Then we have the same position. H6, yeah, I'm not so sure if it was the greatest idea. I sometimes... Yeah, I thought about if the d4 pawn break is any good or not. Yeah, not an easy question for sure. Okay, I play queen d7, yeah, I don't know. It's complicated. Yeah, I don't think I would take on c3 though. Unless I win a pawn on d3, which could happen sometimes. Yeah, I'd probably play queen d7. So knight f1 I think he would play. And yeah, rook d8 I think. f5 is definitely interesting, but maybe as knight g5 then. Yeah, the question is whether I have bishop h5 here. I don't think I do, because after g4 I don't see anything. Okay, here I thought bishop d7. If he would play knight g5. Yeah, that's true. b3, but then I can think about knight a5, of course, at any given moment. Yeah, this is a very sharp, sorry, not sharp. This is a very double-edged position. On one hand, I think it is equal, but you never know when black will be able to play f5. Maybe you don't need f5. But white definitely has no opening advantage though. that's for sure. But okay, in the game I went for a6, bishop a4, and bishop e6. Yeah, probably very similar. Yeah, of course I need to mention that after bishop a4, yeah, I thought about b5, and then bishop b7, yeah, but okay, the computer doesn't like it so much, which is kind of interesting because I don't see the problem. Maybe let's see what the computer possibly has in mind so that it gives white +1. Yeah, I don't know. To me it seems like probably an equal position. Yeah. Bishop b3 is also interesting. And bishop b7 nevertheless, of course. But here the computer absolutely hates it. Nah, it's going down a bit. But I don't understand why. It doesn't seem like too bad of a position. Can react with b4, but I can also choose to ignore it and something else. I don't know if king h8 is good at any moment. Probably it's not too great. Now d4 is not so tempting now, opening up this bishop. But, yeah, I don't know. But maybe I kind of like the plan of h6. The idea of king h... oops. How do you make arrows? Takes, yeah? Okay, takes. Then can you take with the bishop? Or pawn on c... d5 is hanging. Okay. Yeah, maybe I've played inaccurately. Yeah, that after pawn capture. Yeah, and here maybe takes with the... Now it's interesting question how you take now. I think you can try this. Though it's a very unbalanced position. This is very risky. It does weaken black's king a little, but also prepares for e4 and trying to... Ooh. Right. Accept Skype request. Hello.
Hello? Hello, what's up, bro?
All is good.
I'm good. I'm doing good. Let's okay. Let's go analyze the game. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. I told you that just since 1 month I just began learning the Ray Lopez. You know.
I see.
Okay. This line it's my first time I play this line knight G e7.
It's not very common, but Alexei Dreyev has written a book on it.
Okay. It's quite interesting for black because you can attack very after f4 and g5. But I think you had me g5 after f5 directly, you know.
At which point?
F5 here. What I played? I think I played e4. No? e4. Here you had h6 first. Rook b1. Here.
Yeah, but this should be good for me.
Yeah, g5. Yeah. I think here in rook b1 I should go directly with b4. Yeah, b4.
Okay, yeah, black definitely has some play on the king.
Yeah. 4 g5 b5 take. Oh no.
Well,
Rook b1 first. Here I don't g4 first.
yeah, I
No.
think g4 looks nice.
Yeah. Okay.
The knight is probably a bit misplaced on h4.
Yeah. Maybe knight f1 g4 here. Yeah, f4. I'm very bad here. Very bad.
Yeah, I mean, especially practically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I should have gone for g5 maybe.
Yeah. So here, what did you play? You take it here in e4, took.
Yeah,
with
this
f1.
I don't think this is the correct way to try to attack. The pawn on e5 is.
Yeah, you shouldn't open the D line. You know.
Yeah, pawn takes e4 wasn't a good decision.
Yeah. You are from Norway?
Yeah, that's right. What about you?
From France.
Let's see.
My English is very weird, you know.
Actuellement, je peux parler un petit peu de français.
Ah, c'est bien ça, ça va. Tu parles bien français. Okay. Maybe here. I think d4 is not bad. I think. Take. Took the pawn. I mean.
Sure.
I mean, no, not so bad. Bishop b3. d7. Take.
But this looks maybe a bit better for white.
Practically, yeah, but I don't have many cases to play here. Opportunity, you have more, you know. Knight d5 and knight f4, maybe. Okay, maybe d4 is not the correct move.
Okay, what about f4 right away? I was thinking about this, but I didn't think this was so good.
4, take. Okay.
I thought you could take on d5 and play knight e4 and have a very good square.
Yeah, sure. You take with the bishop or with the knight?
I think actually, if I take with the knight, then you have knight c4 already.
Yeah, knight c4. Maybe you should take with the bishop.
Yeah, I probably should.
Also, you can knight f5 maybe.
true.
Sure.
Knight c4 is an interesting move, but I don't know how to evaluate this position. Maybe it's... I don't know.
Take. Maybe. I got this. I got knight bishop e4 after that.
Maybe I should try not to take on c4, because now that I look at it, I'm left with a very bad bishop. Very weak on the light squares. Probably best to try something else if I can. I have e4 maybe. I didn't see this during the game.
Ula, okay. e4, okay. Didn't see that. Interesting move, yeah. Ula, okay. Maybe knight e4.
c4 isn't the correct way to play.
Maybe I should go with bishop, knight e4. Knight e4 maybe.
That makes sense.
g5. h3. Knight. I mean, it's unclear, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think black has more opportunities here.
I see, but the bishop on g7 is very bad though.
Yeah, maybe you should go with rook f7 and bishop f8, rook g7, and try to push g4.
Maybe, but it's slow. And then the pawn on e5 could get weak if the bishop isn't protecting it. So I think this is better for white, actually.
Yeah, I have to prepare d4.
Yeah, that's also an idea for white.
Before bishop b2, push d4. If I don't push d4, I will lose the game. So
maybe f4 right away. Yeah, maybe g5 is the best move.
Yeah,
as you said.
Yeah.
I can't find any other good moves.
I saw g5 is that was terrible, you know. Here g4 g5. I mean, what's the best move for white? This is a problem because my knight have no squares.
It is possible to try to take on c4.
Yeah,
but after knight takes d5, you probably still have knight c4. But maybe I'm forgetting that after bishop takes d5, knight c4 doesn't work, yeah?
Yeah. You got d4 here. Yeah, this is problematic.
Okay, yeah, I think black is slightly better.
Yeah, after g5, yeah.
Okay, can white try to do anything smart? It's taking on f5, no, that's probably not good. Knight takes f5. c4, no, I don't believe in such moves either. Yeah, it's maybe difficult to play white here. g5 would have been a good move.
So, what did you play here?
Yeah, in this game I took on e4. This is probably not a very good decision.
Yeah. And before, what did you play here? d7, bishop b3, ad8.
I thought this was prophylaxis against knight c4, but of course I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, I took.
Maybe it was better of me to at least try to attack with king h7.
Yeah, maybe.
Have trade queens, at least practically.
Yeah.
Because I think you're better.
Yeah, for sure. King h7. I play h4 to stop g5, maybe.
It's possible, but it's risky. It gives up some squares.
Yeah, but I have here. Okay. 7.
Or maybe bishop f6 is better with the idea of g5.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe h4 is suspicious move. h4.
So, I mean, what does white play then, yeah?
Yeah, maybe Queen h7 was the better move. King h7. I have to take here. He took. King b3. And what do you play here?
Okay, I'm thinking if maybe Queen f6 is kind of smart.
Queen f6. Here I'm gonna play b5, knight f5. Queen b4. b6 and
Actually,
bishop.
Maybe I can try to be faster, so I
Yeah, take.
can play g5.
h3, h4. No choice. I have to return my knight and push f3. Yeah, it's quite difficult here for white.
A very unbalanced position.
And what do you play here? I think bishop h6 is not bad. Bishop h6.
Maybe, but what's the idea?
No. Maybe you begin with here. After that, bishop f8 maybe.
I see. Yeah, free bishop f8 here, maybe.
Yeah. I'm supposed to retire my queen. No choice. But where? Yeah, it's very difficult. Maybe before.
Yeah, I think king h7 is an important move.
Yeah.
It's very not good for me to trade queens at all.
Yeah. Queen h7. Yeah. King h7. Yeah. Did you play King's Indian before?
No.
You have. Yeah. If you played the King's Indian, this position will be a lot of simple to play.
Yeah, it would be a dream scenario.
Yeah. So. Yeah, here I'm very bad. I don't know why. Okay. King h7 was good. Yeah. So I played here. What did you play in bishop?
d8.
Yeah, d8. Take.
Yeah, I should honestly have thought about your.
Yeah. Rook f6 was good. I didn't see that. Rook f6.
Okay.
Maybe here I don't have to change the queens, but
Yeah, not necessarily.
I was lucky. Yeah, I find bishop a3 to control d6.
Yeah, I mean, bishop is very good on a3 after you play b5.
Yeah, b5. You take here. Did you play b6? I think.
Yeah, this is very passive. I wasn't sure about what to do, but I was a bit scared of bishop b4.
Yeah, bishop b4 was a good move, but yeah.
Yeah, wait, I went for g5 first.
Yeah. h3 and b6, bishop b4. Here. What did I play here? Knight b3, I think. I think I had a lot of possibilities here. Maybe I should.
Yeah, I was not so sure about knight b3 because I didn't see where the knight would be going next.
I saw c4, c5, but and c6 after that. So if we take the knight and trying to play for this. So maybe knight c4 was better.
A c4 here. A knight.
Yeah. Knight c4.
I was thinking about this. Yeah, I thought that play knight c8.
Knight c8,
The
maybe.
idea of knight d6, of course.
Rook da, d1. Which knight? Yeah.
So that the rook stays protected, I think is good.
Take. And rook d5. Yeah. Okay. Maybe should, don't know. Should be f6 maybe.
No, maybe rook bd1.
Rook f6.
But actually after knight d2 I have the nice tactic knight takes b5.
Yes. Yeah, sure. So maybe I'd have to double here to protect.
But the pawn on e5. So there's
Yeah,
clearly a way to take it tactically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not pleasant for black. Even though the computer says it's almost equal. Maybe the chess.com computer is simply bad.
Yeah, maybe knight c4 was better. Yeah, but I played here knight b3. You played what? What did you play here?
c8.
Knight c8, something. Which rook? Let's see.
Your rook e1, I remember.
No, that was not that.
Wasn't it? I think it might have been.
I think it was this rook. Yes, I played knight queen d5. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So defended on e4.
Queen d5. Here, I think is equal. I mean, maybe rook f6. Yeah.
And this was my idea.
Yeah.
It's slow.
And try to bring the rook here to make some counterplay. So
this of course takes time. So I think it's slightly better. White should be a bit first.
Yeah, but I don't have much counterplay either, because if the only counterplay I have here is c4, c5, you know, because either if I bring the rook in the e1 to play to a7, there's no problem for black.
But maybe after you bring the rook to a7, c4, c5 becomes stronger, because then black doesn't have knight takes b5 as the knight on d7 would be hanging.
Yeah. So f6 here. I'm gonna play knight d2 first. Here I have h4, c4, or yeah, c4, g4, take. If I go b3, you had g3, and I'm in very big trouble.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
So what do you play here in white? What do you asking? What do you propose?
After maybe f3 right away instead of c4.
Yeah, like the game, yeah. f3, and if you sack here, maybe it's bad, but
yeah, I didn't think I would get enough compensation if I was to give up the pawn.
it's interesting, you know. Take. This is a weakness for white.
But the pawn on e5 is also weak.
Yeah, sure.
The bishop on g3 is kind of strong, but probably not too dangerous.
Maybe you have to bring the king. It's so crazy, but it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, maybe. But it will be blocked by knight f3 though if white needs it.
Yeah, sure. But still this pawn in e4 still very weak. I can't move my queen, my rook. Maybe I should bring the king here in f3.
That is an idea, but to be careful of bishop h4, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Let me see that. So the move g3 at some point could be interesting for white.
Yeah, but if I play g3, you take, and your bishop is gonna be more dangerous, you know.
Yeah, maybe, but it's probably not too strong.
Yeah, g4 take. Yeah, so okay, maybe after f3, queen, king f7, c4. Take here. Queen here.
What did I do here? Did I play bishop e7 or something?
Yeah, I think yeah. To bring the rook also. Bishop f6.
I don't know. I don't really think this is too good of a move. Maybe not.
Because if I bring the rook here and if in rook g6, I can't take here because of bishop f6. You know?
Rook here, then I take on c4. But maybe it doesn't work. Does
taking
it
c4
or does it not work?
Maybe taking.
Wait. Oh wait.
I think it's equal, you know.
The computer says +3 and even a bit more, so I think somehow white wins the piece.
Yeah. You have. I think you have rook a7. Intermediate move.
When?
Take.
After bishop takes e7, but then.
No, you have exchange. White have exchange. Yeah. I forgot that he took the rook, not the piece.
Sorry, when?
Yeah, here. Taking on c4, taking on c7, and take here. Yeah, it's exchange.
Yeah, this is definitely much better for white. Yeah. No doubt. I actually blundered because I thought I would have after bishop takes e7, rook takes d5. But of course it doesn't work because pawn threatens the rook. So.
Yeah, take and threaten the rook too. So
yeah, it doesn't work. She started with bishop c3, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I see something. I don't know.
Okay, I have to play bishop f6 probably.
Yeah, it's draw. We have a repetition move. Maybe here bishop f6. Queen c1, knight c1, and to bring the knight here. No, after
knight c5, I think might give.
No, my rook was in a1. No.
So
Here, bishop c4.
So what happens if I get the game? Cheat a little.
Here rook e1. So what did you play here?
What happened now? Did I go? Did I put our game into the analysis? Oh wait, I played rook e8 after f3. Or how did this happen?
You had the king in e6.
Do you see the analysis board when I've just played bishop f6?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Bishop f6 and knight d2. Exactly.
Like the rook f8.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, I thought maybe I'd get the king to e6, but probably not the best of moves.
King h7, h3. Look here. Yeah, maybe if you took in a6 that was bad, yeah.
In the end of the game, or?
Yeah, and analyze. Look at the analyze. Maybe, I don't know.
Bishop e7, let's see, what did I think after rook takes e5? What I would take here. This is a blunder, the computer says, yeah.
Where?
Ah, of course, it's a blunder. After the 29th move, bishop e7.
Yeah.
After rook takes e5, I wanted to play knight takes c4.
Ah, yeah. I saw that. So.
But the computer says it's a blunder.
Yeah, I miscalculate maybe something here.
Think rook f5 check, followed by bishop takes e7 wins material.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I think when you take in e7 and my rook is trapped, you know, so I didn't take.
Rook f5, king e6, bishop takes e7.
Yeah, that was interesting. Take here. Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw knight c8. Knight c8. I didn't.
Ah, I see.
Knight c8. If I take in e7, you take with the knight, and my rook is trapped.
Yeah, knight c8 is a much better move than knight takes c4, of course.
I saw that knight c8, but
maybe you have bishop c3. Take the rook d5.
yeah, rook c3 here. No, bishop c3.
A rook d3. Ah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, rook c1. I actually don't think I have enough compensation.
Yeah, in knight c5, I got rook d5, you know, and
Yeah, that's true.
I will play the anti.
Yeah, with the healthy pawn up.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I miscalculate something. I was too scary to take the pawn. Okay. Interesting tactics here.
I think white could have taken the pawn. Bishop c for bishop f6, rook a1. I played king e6. F2. I wonder if you have something more direct than king f2, but maybe not.
Where?
Move 31.
31, yeah.
After king e6.
Yeah.
After rook a7. And maybe rook e6.
Rook e7. I saw this, but rook a8.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right, rook a6 and same position. So
Then maybe rook a6. Yeah, okay, it's not so easy to say.
yeah, but this position is closed position. So
That's true, but I mean, black has all their pawns on dark squares.
yeah, and mine is all white squares. So my bishop is very good here. So, but I didn't exploit the disadvantage. So I didn't see how to win in this position. How to win in
Let's
this
see if it
position.
is possible. Okay, king f2, rook e8, rook a6. I thought very slightly about taking on a6 and then playing c6, rook d3, knight c5. But I think you can just take on c5 and play at
Yeah,
the very least bishop b2, so that rook e8 can be met with rook a3. And then it's not good at all.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't calculate all that. I played just rook e6 because I saw it good.
See, yeah, I mean, I can't
Yeah.
take that rook out. But maybe it is a bit. I don't think it's good, of course, but maybe c5 is annoying here.
Yeah. Take. Yeah. It's quite annoying for black here.
Yeah, this is probably not good. I just played rook e8. Okay, maybe I should have gone for h5.
Maybe. Yeah. H5.
b4.
Bishop b4. Same position. So bishop e7. Bishop c3 maybe.
Yeah, I think I went. I didn't want to play rook g8 because I thought you might have c5.
Okay. Interesting. Take.
Yeah, I don't think I can really take on b5, though it's definitely an interesting attempt to take on b5.
I saw it. Yeah, but taking b5 and I got c6. I think.
When? Takes a8, yeah? Or
No. When you played rook e8, you said that you have to play rook g8. No.
yeah, I was thinking about playing rook g8 instead of bishop e7. I rejected it because of c5, but maybe I could have taken on b5.
Yeah. Took here and b5 and you winning. You will win this. c5 is a bad move here because you trade c3.
No, sorry, when?
Yeah. Stockfish say you win.
Wow, interesting. Okay, I thought I was worse, so I played bishop e7. I was quite happy when you repeated moves because I think only white can win this. But the question is, of course,
Yeah.
how white can make progress, if it is possible or not.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do the h5, bishop b4, bishop e7. Knight e8, knight e1. I told you, knight e1. That was a good move.
I have to play knight c5, I think.
c5.
So that
Take with bishop. It's 3 pawn.
Or a knight c1 in which position? Here.
At the end. The move 38.
After bishop f6.
No, before. Wait.
The bishop is on e7.
After h5, bishop b4, bishop e7, and here I play knight c1.
Yeah, this I think is a bit annoying.
Yeah, for black.
Yeah.
Knight c1. Yeah, it's not winning, but I will go knight d3 and try to come back with knight b3 and double push, take this square in c5. You know, it's quite interesting.
Knight takes e4 probably doesn't work. Yeah, bishop takes e7, knight c3, king moves, king f1, knight takes d5. I don't think it works.
Yeah, taking.
Oh wait, what? Oh, I'm missing.
I will take with the knight, I think. Knight take e4, I will take with the knight. You take my bishop. And let's play like that. You took my bishop and knight d3. I'm good here.
Yeah, you can even take on g5 if you want. But maybe you don't need to, yeah.
I will take. It's free pawn.
Yeah, but of course knight d3 first is a good move. Yeah, white has some advantage. Horrible bishop.
Yeah, you have to recycle your bishop, you know. Maybe you have to...
E6.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, or bishop a5, you block the rook temporarily.
Then the pawn on e5 is falling.
Yeah.
So you have to play the passive bishop d6, and you can probably take on g5, and white is clearly better. So
yeah.
I guess knight takes e4 is not the correct way forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I need to find something very smart after knight c1 to prevent knight d3.
Maybe you should go bishop f6 and knight g3 maybe.
Yeah.
Knight d3 and I don't know. Rook g8 seems thing good. It threat g4 and you will have some counterplay.
But then after bishop c3, what am I missing?
I said that in knight c1.
Yeah.
Maybe bishop f6.
And after knight d3, rook g8, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Then bishop c3.
Bishop c3 and
Knight f7 maybe, but this is passive.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's the only way. Let's try it with the engine. What did he say? Bishop c3. The engine say you took in e6. Take. And here you play c6. As you said.
When?
In bishop c3, here you play rook take e6, and after that c6.
Rook takes e6. Which move?
Look, rook g8, bishop c3, and here you take in e6. So what do you think?
And yeah, of course, c6. This is suddenly super unclear.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not winning. White is slightly better, but I don't know.
Computer sees knight takes e5, which I did it after pawn takes d5. That's the idea. Of course, knight c6 check is annoying, but let's say king d7.
Yeah, sure.
You see the king f7 is made better.
Queen. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Pawn takes b7. Knight takes b7. e5. White starts pushing those pawns.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
White is better here for sure.
Yeah, white is better, but it's not winning. You have to be an engine to win this position.
Yeah, maybe it's not so simple, but white has some winning chances. For sure.
Yeah, if I have 1 hour, maybe I can win this. So in rapid, I don't think so. Would you like to play another game?
Sure.
How you play my London
Sorry?
system? How you play my London system?
I want to play white.
Okay, if you wanna white, no problem.
But you want to play London system as white, yeah?
Yeah, if you want, because
Sure.
I know very well the theory of the London, so.
Well, let's see. Okay, I'll challenge you, I guess.
Okay.
So, white. Good luck.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, I guess I'll call you when you finish the game.
Okay.
See you then. Okay, I'll abort this game. Oops. Wonder who he is playing against. This is strange. If I try to challenge him this way. It says that he is playing someone. Which is a bit strange. Because he isn't. Am I playing someone by accident? Maybe I can contact him on Skype. A very strange glitch here. Okay, I mean I can try to reload and see if I'll be able to play him then. Hopefully I'll be able to challenge him now. Yeah, I think I challenged him. Yeah, now I'm able to challenge him. This is good. If I challenge him as black. This is the glitch, I think, after I abort the game. Because I want to play him as black again. Because he will try the London system, but there seems to be some kind of glitch on chess.com or something that is preventing me from doing so successfully. Okay, I mean, if it doesn't work now, yeah, then I'll just play him as white. Okay, now I can play him as black. Good. Okay, what should I try against the London? This is always an interesting question. I had some variation I wanted to try out, so why don't I give it a try? To go d5, followed by knight f6. c5 here. And queen b6. Not the most common line. Okay, goes for queen c2. g6 makes sense to me to play bishop f5 with a tempi. Let's do it. Bishop takes b8. Has no purpose. Right, yeah, bishop f5. Which was the idea of my last move. But maybe he has bishop d3 now. Not that it's super dangerous or anything, but maybe it's his best move. Interesting. Takes on c5. Okay, if I take on c5, what is his idea? Bishop d4, bishop takes d4, the queen takes d4, knight c6 is not a problem for me. Bishop takes b8, he obviously can't play because his queen is hanging. Queen a4 check, knight c6. Yeah, I can just take. This move, this is a bit smarter than the moves I was thinking of. This is a very smart move. Maybe I have to play the passive queen c8, which I obviously don't want to at all. But it's quite annoying how he is threatening to take on b7. Queen b6 and I have a very bad structure, so this I want to avoid. I don't know if I can avoid, but it's something I would love to avoid. b6 also looks very wrong. He's tricked me a little. Queen c8, c4. Yeah, I don't really believe in knight c6, queen takes b7, rook c8. Because of like bishop b5 maybe with the idea. It doesn't even work e5 then. Yeah, I've been tricked a little. Okay, which move should I try? That's annoying. Maybe queen b6 is necessary because it avoids losing on the spot at least. No, never mind, maybe you can try to win a pawn. No, I can't really do it. Not the move I want to make at all, but I didn't see any other good options, sadly. Now I want to play knight c6 and then e5, but I obviously can't make 3 moves in a row. The knight c6 is the most tempting move. The knight bd7 is also interesting. Maybe bishop g7 while I think about what he does. Sure, bishop b5, then I have knight d7 or knight 6. Yeah, knight d5 is way too slow to work. Yeah, h3 of course. Maybe I should have played knight h5, but this is very risky of me. I mean, instead of bishop g7. Probably not though. Yeah, I don't see the problem with castling. If only I could play b5, b4. That would improve my position significantly. Okay, it's more tempting to play knight c6. After bishop c7 I have knight d7, so I'm not losing a pawn there. Though I obviously have to be careful. Knight e5 I somehow am not very afraid of for some reason. This move I even like to see. Okay, let's see if I'm able to produce a good move against it. The instinct is knight e4. But knight h5, then he might have knight takes c6. Though even this position is maybe not so bad for me, yeah? Though maybe bishop h2 is better. Bishop c7. Yeah, I think after knight h5 he can take on c6. I can't take on f4 due to knight takes e7, and if I recapture on c6, he has bishop c7 threatening both g4 and bishop takes b6. So maybe the instinctual knight e4 is better. Okay, let's see what happens after knight e4. Knight takes e4. I thought knight takes e5 could be an interesting idea. Yeah, let's do it. I don't see the problem with it. Knight f3, then I can consider f6. So you know, now I have some play. Now it's looking much better for me than it was a couple of moves ago. So that's good to see. And my opponent has been using very little time, which I think maybe is a mistake. He relaxed maybe a bit when he had the positionally better position. That was a lot of repetition. I wanted to say positionally winning, but then it's probably not that bad for black. My idea now is to play knight c5, knight d3 if he goes back. Which I don't think he will, of course, because no human wants to go back after a move they make. And oh! I've lost my connection. Oh dear. Now at least I can make myself a bit bigger. Okay, good. Now I've reconnected. There we go. Now I'm a bit bigger. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, I don't think he's in a very comfortable spot now because he's let go of the advantage. And now black has a decent play for sure. Maybe it is best for him to take on e4 and then after knight takes e5 to give the bishop pair, but at least I have something as compensation. Do I have any other moves than knight takes e5? Bishop takes e4, knight f3, and I don't see what I get exactly. Okay, I do get to play e5 maybe, but bishop h2. Maybe. I have something here. Pawn takes e4. Knight c4. This I don't believe in. G5 is a bit too creative. Yeah, let's go for knight takes e5 then. He'll play knight d2 I think, and I'll probably go for knight d3, getting the bishop pair. Though he of course should consider bishop takes e5, giving up the dark squared bishop instead of the light squared bishop, because he has some holes on his light squares. So if he gives up his light squared bishop with knight d2, knight d3 then, so I think bishop takes e5 is the better choice. After which I will probably take the bishop. I don't think bishop takes e4 is something I'll play. Take on e5, he'll move to d2, and I think it's roughly balanced because I have the weaker pawn structure, but now I've managed to get the bishop pair. Bishop takes e4, bishop takes g7, bishop takes g2. Takes f8, bishop takes h1, bishop takes e7. No, I don't believe in it, so let's go for bishop takes e5. I think he'll play knight d2. b5, what I do with b4 is interesting, but what do I have after bishop takes b5? I thought b5, bishop takes b5, rook a5, bishop e2, rook f, a8, a3, b5, but I don't have enough for the pawn, yeah? Probably don't. So this is best to avoid. Is my bishop placed better on g7 or d6? Because now it's in the way for a central assault. I'll go for bishop g7. Bishop d6 and bishop g7 seemed equal and I couldn't figure out which one was better, put it simply. Of course, it's not necessary maybe to move my bishop, but how else should I improve my position? Okay, does he have any plans? Knight b3 or knight f3 doesn't seem too dangerous. I want to play e5 with the idea of d4, so maybe I should go for it. I don't see the problem, so let's do it. I think it's roughly equal here, slightly worse pawn structure. I have the center though, so I don't know. Okay, he might want to play rook fd1, so bishop c2 is therefore a bit interesting, but after rook fc1 I don't see the purpose of this funny looking move. No, bishop a4 though. Okay, you know what, it looks so funny I might as well try it. That is a bit risky. This is just a rapid game online, so it's not the end of the world, but it also doesn't seem that stupid, preventing him from playing rook d1. I've heard that in, what was his name again? I sometimes forget Artur Yusupov's lecture, that if you're prophylactic against your opponent, he will get annoyed as he'll have to change plans. Because my opponent obviously wanted to play rook fd1 next. It was definitely the idea of knight f3, but now he can't. And then opponents get annoyed and tilt psychologically and make mistakes, in theory. Yeah, the position is roughly equal, I think. Roughly. We'll probably play like rook e1 next, bishop a4. But yeah, there's this interesting thing, yeah? Everyone says that the London is boring, but I just think of it as an opening. Why is it so boring? Black can get different types of positions. Bishop b5 I don't like because I get rook a5 with a tempo, and rook a5 is my instinct to play. Followed by b5, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll go for rook a5. It's instinctual. I see an interesting idea. To play b5 with the idea of b4, and if he ever plays a3, then I might have bishop b3, followed by bishop c4. It's a risky idea because the pawn on b5 might get weak for sure, but it's very interesting. This decision I don't like. Why, I don't know yet. Let's see if I can find the tactical justification for why I wouldn't like this. His idea is obviously after I move my bishop to play a4, but I'm not sure if I can believe in it. It's an interesting idea, but I don't think I'm in time. Sadly. It was to play bishop f5, a4, rook d8 with the idea of bishop d7, but then he's in time to play rook d1. So this doesn't work out too well for me. I have bishop e4, a4, d4, but I think after pawn c takes d4, a bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3, pawn takes d4, he might put up some pressure against he'll play rook c7 and it's not so clear. Yeah, I think too much sometimes about the decisions I make. Rook takes b5, is this any good? Okay, I'll go for bishop b4. I don't see any way I can tactically exploit this. He'll play a4. Maybe I'll have to play rook ac8. And then claim that his bishop is strangely placed. Okay, good. I thought I had connection issues, which I probably did, but they went away, fortunately. d4, I don't believe in. Though who knows? d4, pawn takes d4, takes f4, pawn takes f3, c7. Nah, it's not too good for me. I'll play positionally with rook c8. I don't see the purpose of my rook being on a5 anymore. a4 is very debatable because he does get good control over the b5 square, but he also puts the pawn on a light square, which you might not want. Okay, this is a very slow move by him, which I definitely don't like, and I'm very tempted to play d4. Opening up the positions for my bishops. Let's do it. I don't see the problem. And also it's a bit difficult for him to make the decision now. If you ask your opponent enough questions, they will blunder. I'll quickly run to get some water. I'm back. Hopefully I didn't lose too much time on it. Now like half a minute. I take on d4, of course. I choose to take. Yeah. He doesn't have rook c4, of course. So I should be slightly better due to my dark squared bishop, which is a beast. Though how much better I am is debatable. But I'm better. Now I'm better. Bishops on open squares. It's also, when you have the bishop here, it's good to trade off queens, because queens cooperate well with knights. Of course, generally, because there isn't a rule in chess which is 100% of the time, but in most cases, and I think this is one. Here it's quite important. I mean, this bishop on d4 is beautiful, just look at it. Look at it go, man. It'll destroy him from the inside. After b4, I was thinking about playing bishop c6. But then he might take on c6, rook takes c6, rook takes a4, knight c2. And then it's not so clear. So I have to be a bit careful. I have a kind of smart move, but it's not too smart. After b4, rook fc8, with the idea that after knight d3, to play bishop takes d3. But maybe I'll try on rook takes c8, but still I'm a bit more active. Yeah, I'm a bit more active there, but then I'll be very slightly better, and it's probably a draw. And there is no risk for sure. Okay, this guy is fast. He always has a time advantage. And it's also a bit because I'm a slow player. I mean, I'm a big fan of Alexander Grishek after all. Okay, this looks a bit strange to me. Maybe it's just justified tactically. Because now I can see that after Rook FD8, which I was wanting to play, he has Knight C2. Then I'll take on C2 and it'll be a draw. Which is okay, I guess. Do I have any way to prevent this? The idea of Knight C2? Probably don't. I mean, if I move my dark squared bishop, the light squared bishop falls. If I move my light squared bishop, so I only have Rook FD8 or Rook AD8. That's my options. I'll go for Rook FD8, I guess. And I think I have to take on C2 and offer a draw. Yeah, I think so. I can't move my dark squared bishop. Bishop d3, rook takes d4. Take c2. Maybe bishop d3 is a better try though. I had to play for a win. He's able to play b4 a5. I think it's a very simple draw there too. After bishop d3, rook takes d4. Bishop takes c2, rook takes, rook c1, rook d2, king f1 with the idea of king e1. Take on c2 and offer a draw. He'll choose himself if he wants to accept or not, but it's a drawn position. Yeah. Alright, let's call him. Talk a bit about the game. Hello.
Hello.
Salut.
Good game. So.
Let's see. You can make it public, who cares? Chose to try queen b6. I don't remember queen c2 being the main line, but
Yeah, the main
play
line
after
is
queen c2.
then queen b3. Then this is the main line. Yeah, this is the main line. You can after that should be 4, e6, e3, Bishop, no bishop e7,
Can I try to
h6.
play knight h5?
Here, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but here I should begin with h3.
Ah, see.
h6, knight f3, e6, bishop e2. If you like this, you know. So I have to play knight d7. I have to play bishop d1, b6, bishop c2. You take, and yeah, can continue.
Before the computer, no, this is very nice tactical resource.
Take. Yeah.
Oh, but
Well, okay.
this seems very good for black, no?
Yeah.
Maybe the main line is just a bad line, yeah?
But it's equal, but you have to play very good in white.
Yeah, I think it's easier to play black for sure. But I've also seen a queen c2 here.
Yeah, queen c2, bishop f5, and queen c1. Yeah, it's playable, but I lose many.
Not bishop f5 here though. Here you have queen takes f5.
Yeah. You have first knight c6. I forgot that. Knight c6, knight. I play knight d2, then you don't have bishop f5. But if I play knight bf3, here you have bishop f5.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I think after queen c1, the most accurate move is knight h5.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that somewhere.
So here I played knight queen c2. Queen c2 is a good move, you know. It's not a very theoretical move, but
yeah,
it's a good move
to do here.
You have many options, you know. You have knight c6 maybe, knight d2, g6. This is theory, you know. G6, and in g6 what they play here, knight f3 maybe, knight f3, yeah. In case c4, e4, okay. c4, e4, then
Yeah,
problem for.
I think bishop e7 is correct here.
Bishop g7, rook b8.
Knight h5 is also interesting, of course.
Yeah, knight h5.
Trying to get the bishop.
Bishop b5, f6. Yeah, but it's quite difficult. So, here you play g6, right?
Yeah.
Knight d2, bishop 5, take.
Yeah,
queen b6.
I didn't want to take queen b6, of course, but I didn't find the right move. I thought about queen c8, but wasn't sure what to do after c4.
c4. Yeah, it's quite difficult. c4, e6.
Okay, but I don't want to play e6 and e6.
Yeah.
It's best to avoid if I can.
It's annoying for black.
Bishop e6, but the computer says, but white should have some initiative.
Honestly, if you played queen c8, I don't play c4. I will play knight f3 and continue slowly.
I see.
Knight d4 after, and be the other knight in f3. Try bishop e2 or bishop b5, depends your moves.
I see.
So
yeah, that's how we typically play the London.
But queen b6 is alright, you know.
The only thing is my structure. It's not very pretty.
Here I played the most time h4.
Ah. Oh,
yeah, I played.
Interesting. And what's the idea after bishop g7?
Bishop e2.
And you try to play h5 or?
I play for each. Yeah.
Whoa. But is it so efficient? Bishop g7, bishop e2, knight d7.
D7. H5.
If I take on b3
Take the pawn.
and try to get the bishop pair this way.
What's a problem? Just take here.
Sorry, it takes e6. I mean, the bishop can come to d3 at some point.
Yeah, maybe it's not H5 right now, but maybe queen d7. I should play. What's theory here? I don't remember that. Maybe I should continue knight f3. Let's continue. Yeah. Should continue.
But black
There's
definitely has no problems, I think.
Yeah, either white. This is like equal position.
But I mean, I like black's d pawn over white's c pawn. I've heard that this is an advantage in like a chess 24 series by Dorfman.
Interesting. Yeah, logically yes.
So I think black actually might have an advantage, or very slight, of course, but something.
Yeah, because of those squares and the bishop.
Yeah, this bishop is making it difficult to play c4 for sure.
Yeah, but I have something like knight d4. Knight d4. Yeah, then I don't know. Okay. I take the queen. Take. I played did I play here?
Knight f3, if I remember. Yeah, knight f3.
Yeah, not f3, yeah, exactly. Knight f3, bishop d7, h3, knight d7, bishop b2, castle. Yeah, my bad move here was knight e5.
Yeah, I think after knight 5 I see some initiative.
Yeah, maybe I had to go knight d4 here. I have to go knight d4 and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm good here. Check here, maybe? No, I don't think so. Should be here. No. Take the bishop. Take.
Should I take on e3?
Take on a3 here.
Yeah, after knight takes g7, I in between will take on e3.
Yeah, taking on3. Yeah, I should take.
But I don't know. Black is not worse. Maybe even slightly better, I think.
Yeah, maybe. But I got here bishop f3. Try to push e4 maybe after that. Yeah, you have bishop here, right? Maybe knight e4. Should I take with the knight or the bishop? I should take with the bishop. No, don't know.
Also, maybe knight c5 here is interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Very threatening knight d3 already.
Yeah, I'm in trouble here. I don't know why. Taking e3. Look at the point. Yeah.
There isn't much choice as to take it.
Yeah.
Some move.
Maybe bishop b5.
Maybe knight c5, I think.
Knight c5. Yeah. Knight c5. Shoot castle. Yeah, has its weaknesses, but you got this too, so I don't know who's worse.
Maybe it's equal, maybe.
I think, yeah. But I think you have more initiative here.
Yeah, comfortable equality for black. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. While the computer might say it's equal, maybe it's slightly easier to play black. Not by that much. But what's the problem with like castling?
No, I didn't castle. I played knight e5.
The knight 5.
So I played knight e4. Knight e8 was good.
Yeah, this is interesting. You have knight d6.
Yeah. Should take knight f3. f6.
This is interesting with idea v5, probably the best move.
f6 here.
Castles, maybe.
Yeah. e5, bishop e3, and knight d6, knight d4. Yeah, knight d4. Yeah. So maybe
Knight d4, you said, or?
no, it's bad move.
Yeah, then knight c4 maybe, or knight e4, I think.
Yeah, it should maybe. I don't know. Why some time? Yeah, I'm horrible here. I'm horrible.
White's position?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that bad, but black does have the center. But also double b pawns.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to exploit these weaknesses.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, I mean, bishop c7 isn't happening.
Yeah, but not in this position. Quite after e5, it's
But okay,
impossible
c4
to.
possible.
C4 interested. C4. e5. Bishop h2. G3.
Probably the same thing.
Yeah, no. G3, maybe bishop h4. You have more more squares to. Yeah. Bishop g3 and bishop e6 maybe. Or c6. Which them better here? c6 or e6?
Okay, this is probably way too fancy. But the computer actually doesn't hate this sacrifice.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
I mean, f4, maybe sometimes.
Knight b3, I think.
b4.
Knight b3.
Black should have something.
Maybe bishop. No, I don't think so. Maybe you should keep the bishop e4. I mean, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's a decent move for sure, but the only thing
Castle.
I don't know if I'm that keen on taking on b3.
Yeah, I don't know. quite
Maybe it's
an...
roughly equal. Ah, yeah. Okay.
I got bishop d6.
Ah, oh, that's a nasty way to lose the game.
Yeah. Bishop e7.
It's always interesting, these kinds of moves, like f4.
4, bishop e4.
I don't know, I was thinking f3 or e3 even. Though e3 maybe you can take on b7.
Maybe, yeah.
But also knight d6 becomes possible now.
Yeah, no.
Oh, but bishop
e7 here.
Well. Oh, snap, that is a nasty I don't
here
know,
for
f3.
this is quite interesting, but I don't take bishop d3 and it's, you give him bishop g3 again and something.
Yeah, maybe it's actually slightly better for white.
Yeah.
So maybe bishop a4 isn't the correct way to exploit. Maybe
it looks good, yeah.
It's a decent move, but maybe
Yeah, but it's not
something
good.
better. I was thinking about f4.
Why not? Bishop h4.
And I thought maybe h6.
Bishop e7, c4, take. Think about bishop e7.
Maybe I can try to play this smarter, because the computer gives a clear advantage for black. I wonder why, what it has seen. This is very
How old are you?
15, turning 16 this year. What about you?
I'm 20.
I see.
I'm old man. So here, so the engine says that white is better.
What? A black? Yeah,
Black.
7
Yeah.
actually. It likes this idea.
Yeah.
The idea of h6, g5, and also I was thinking knight d6. The idea of knight f5.
Interesting. Yeah.
So actually this pawn sacrifice with d4 is not so stupid.
Yeah, it's quite a Morphy move.
I played knight e4. Maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But probably not too bad.
Yeah.
Knight takes e4 was played. Knight takes e5. Were you thinking about knight takes d7?
I mean, like the d7. See that, but I don't know. Bishop c7 before.
b5 is probably something white shouldn't allow, because after, let's say, castles, black has b4, and if a3 to try and stop it, obviously b4 anyways.
Yeah, take here or here is something. So yeah, maybe I should take in d7, but I saw something here. Just wait.
Yeah, but maybe bishop c7 isn't necessary, because I think black wants to play b5.
Wait a second. He played 96 here, I think.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes it a bit.
Oula.
Amazing,
Okay. 96 and Castle. Here played 95. So
Yeah, here it makes more sense, yeah. Yeah, that's a little shock there.
here I didn't saw something else, because if I take it C6 maybe you take and you got C5 after that,
Yeah,
E5
this is
after.
a very good improvement to my structure. I mean, I have one pawn island, yeah?
Yeah.
So a
Yeah,
very
you
good
have to.
structure for black.
Yeah.
Looks very beautiful.
Yeah. Very strong too.
So that, I was kind of hoping for it, but of course.
Here I think
Instead of, yeah, 95 is
95.
probably not the best, yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's
98 is also interesting, to be honest.
if I play here F6, take.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yeah. So here I should play 94. Should D7.
It's very well.
If we take, I will take with the E pawn, I think. Right, yeah, I take with E pawn, king B4 here, 8, so B6 here.
But I can't play B5 now, though, or B5 later, like in J.
Yeah,
I don't
general.
think I want to take on B4 because that would improve your structure. Then I no longer have more pawns in the center.
Sure. So we play knight for bishop D7 maybe.
If I play E5, then you can probably take on C6, I think. Yeah, this.
Yeah, check here and then take here.
Yeah, that's. Bishop D7 is the move.
Yeah, I think this most 94. 94. Maybe we should take here. Try to push something.
I like this idea.
What do you think?
E8. Yeah, maybe 94 too. Yeah, with the idea of F6.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, maybe in the 8. I don't know. Maybe you should take with bishop.
Maybe I
I think.
have bishop E8. I think it's kind of interesting because okay, while I go back, I play F6 and I'm ready to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't know what to play here, to be honest.
So I was thinking about C4, but
F6.
Yeah, F6, knight F3, E5 probably. Yeah, it's probably just good for black.
Yeah.
But I don't think white would like to take on C6 though.
Yeah, I will not take, but you get E5 is quite annoying, but you can play it in this time in this move. But after F6 or Rook E8, Rook E8, so it's begun to be complicated for me.
Yeah, I mean black does have the same.
I think either if you take with the bishop, I think it's not bad. Either without the bishop, the black bishop.
After knight takes c6? Or...
Yeah, in this position.
Maybe, but I really want to take with the pawn too.
Yeah,
I like this.
good position.
Maybe. But I want to keep my bishop maybe too.
Yeah, sure. So in the game I played take here, take, I took, because if I tie my knight, you have knight d3, something like that. Yeah, it's quite annoying.
Yeah, I was
Here.
kind of hoping for it. Thought it would be a bit better.
Yeah, so I took the knight, take here. What did you play here? Bishop g7, I think. Yeah,
I
knight
played
f3,
g7.
e5, castle,
Board
bishop
seems to be
c2.
lagging a bit.
Do you hear me correctly?
Yeah, the Skype connection isn't too bad.
Ah, okay.
The analysis
Bishop
part.
c2. Yeah, I saw that bishop b5. It's good. It was a good move, bishop b5.
Bishop b5?
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure, but I didn't see anything else to play here. Maybe rook ac1 was a good move, but bishop a4, b3, bishop d7. I don't want to play this position. Maybe it's good for white, but
after which move?
Bishop c2.
The pawn on c3 is weak, so I think
Yeah.
I'd be happy as black. I thought bishop c2 was kind of smart, a prophylaxis against rook fd1.
Yeah. I didn't see that, to be honest. I didn't see this move.
I read I watched on Chess24 this lecture by Artur Yusupov, where he talks about the prophylactic thinking is very annoying for the opponent.
Yeah,
So it's
I think, yeah.
I prevent rook f1, so I thought that is kind of smart.
Should be 5 here. Here. I mean, if you take here, it's quite. I think either you have some advantage. I think maybe b3.
I can't see the moves yet. Here we go.
Like e8. I think. I don't know.
I thought a3 maybe, so because after b3 the pawn on c3 might be weak, I thought.
Yeah, sure.
So a3 and
bishop c3, bishop c5, bishop d1.
I wasn't so sure that this would be so great for me.
Yeah, maybe not.
I have the weak pawns on b6 and b7.
Yeah,
so I wasn't too convinced that this would be good for black.
Yeah, maybe. So what did you play here? Bishop a4, no? Knight a4 here. I think you had... No, it's quite draw here. You have nothing.
Yeah, I didn't find anything.
What did you play here? d4? No.
You went 5 a8 instead of bishop takes f3.
I played knight d2. What did you play here? No, I didn't play knight d2. I played knight e1.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure about this move. I was kind of happy to see it.
Knight e1, I think, to idea of knight c2 like before.
I see. Okay, maybe I overreacted a bit.
To protect those squares. No,
It
okay.
makes sense, but maybe I could be smart and play rook fd8 with the idea that after knight c2 I play bishop f8.
Yeah, why not?
Looks kind of intelligent.
So we played d4 here. I'm not sure about this move, so
Yeah, I actually just missed rook c4 knight c2, so I thought I would have a strong dark squared bishop.
yeah. I was lucky here. I see the rook c4 after this, after bishop d4. Honestly,
I see. Yeah, I mean after
he
that
played.
it's probably just dead wrong.
Yeah.
I was
Take here.
thinking about playing bishop d3, rook takes d4, bishop takes c2, but
Yeah, it's quite draw here.
it's also
Either if I give this pawn, it's a draw.
the b pawn. Yeah, that's true. So it's very hard to lose this position. You have to try.
Yeah, you have to try to lose. Take, maybe bishop c4. Yeah, you got nothing. I got nothing. So it's quite draw. Yeah.
a5. No, okay, it doesn't change much.
Yeah. Wanna play some bullet?
Okay. Sure.
Cool.
Alright, everyone. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.